Okay, this is the 6th test of Valor on Chapter 8 now. We're going to go and access it. You want to have your Lunar equipped. And for a projectile, I would recommend the Incendiary Shurikens. So, for this part... oh, and by the way, the enemies, we have the Red Dragons and Van Gelfs, both of whom number 50. Excuse me, there's a quantity of 50 of each of those animals. Or fiends, rather, sorry. Basically, a 360 UT, or excuse me again, my Lunar and your Lunar, it should all be at level 3 by now. We're pretty far into the game. We're past the point of no return. So your 360 ET will kill a Van Gelf. So these guys are pretty aggressive. I don't know if their aggression is heightened in this trial. But basically, you want to stick to chaining 360 ETs, and there's very minimal risk when you're trying to get a ET because that's the first level charge, and it's very reasonable to get that off without getting interrupted. So the reason I suggested that you use Incendiary Shurikens is that there's a free supply of them nearby in the jail cells, which you can backtrack to. And also, if you need a quick piece of essence to chain an attack on, you can throw daggers at the Van Gelfs. The problem I had is that I don't believe that the Incendiary Shurikens do anything to the Red Dragons. I think they just, like other enemies, the Incendiary Shurikens just bounce off of them. But these Red Dragons, they first appear in Chapter 10, and is it Chapter 10? No, I think I think they may be in Chapter 12. They just have a lot of hit points, and they're hard to take down just because of that reason. They have a rolling attack, and they also have an attack where they breathe fire. Whenever they're breathing fire, it's a perfect opportunity to build up a charge. But also, the Lunar works well in this section, but the Scythe is what you probably want to use for the dragons once we clear all the Van Gelfs, because it's just nice to get the Van Gelfs cleared. So I had to use quite a lot of items over here. And when I use the Nympho, I'm usually targeting... I'm usually letting it target some of the dragons just to do some damage off of them. So basically, just bottom line, if you need a quick know how to beat this, it's just Lunar ETs, Lunar 360 ETs for the Van Gelfs, and Scythe UTs for the Red Dragons once we get them by themselves. And then I'll be switching to the Scythe. There's another trial that involves the Death Worms and the Red Dragons. I don't know which test of Valor it is, but that's one that I'm not particularly looking forward to. The Red Dragons they only appear one time in the game, correct? And, well, I know they do. I was just kind of bouncing that off you guys, but they are only... They're in the game right before the second Zidonius boss fight in a chapter that I don't know what number it is off the top of my head. And to me, they're intimidating. Just because of their facade. I mean, look at their jaws, and it's just, they're pretty, I don't know. They've got a pretty devastating bite, too. I mean, okay, so we'll see what we'll be, looking at their attacks more in depth when we can clear these Van Gelfs, so, But basic tips for this, I would just say, just go ahead and use your Nimpo. Use as many items as you need to. And this is one of those tests of Valor where the reward is a Jewel of the Demon Seal, and there are 2 tests of Valor in this game that will give you a Jewel of the Demon Seal for the reward. Now we have 4 scrolls that have a technique on them. Like we have 4 Nimpos. We have the Inferno, the Windblades, the Void, and the Flame Phoenix. But if you go through the game and you just pick up all the Jewels of the Demon Seal that you just get for free, from boxes or corpses, you will be able to collect 6. There's 8 of them total. There's 6 just for free in the main campaign, and then the final 2 are on these tests of Valor. So, so basically you get a Nimpo and it's at level 1. So you need 2 more Jewels of the Demon Seal to make the desired Nimpo get up to level 3. So if you never participated in these tests of Valor, you could, what happens is you will get enough Jewels of the Demon Seal, provided you don't miss any, during your quest. You'll get enough, you'll collect the 6 that you can apply to 3 Nimpos. So you could have 3 of your favorite Nimpo, 3 of the 4 Nimpos upgraded to the highest strength. And I think it's a pretty much roundabout consensus. I mean, I don't think anyone else would say differently about what those 3 selections are. The Inferno, the Windblades, and the Piercing Void. I think pretty much we can all agree that the Flame Phoenix is not an important Nimpo to upgrade. But if you do want to upgrade it to level 3, you're going to have to participate in these events here. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you want all of your Nimpo upgraded, you're going to have to participate in these events that we're having unfolded to us in front of us right now. So, but the reason I even brought that whole subject up was because, you're going to get plenty of Jewels of the Demon Seal in the course of this game, and it's just up to you if you want to, have to use a lot of items in a test of Valor like this, because this is not an easy one. So if the reward is something whose risk you can justify to yourself, then by all means do it. But it's just that Flame Phoenix one. We really don't need that for anything. I don't believe we do. I've never found a good use for it myself. But don't let that draw you off. If you like that Nimpo, it's your prerogative, and at the end of the day, you're gonna apply the Jewels of the Demon Seal to whatever you want, not me. So we should almost be taking care of these Van Gelfs pretty soon. You see how effective the 360 UT or ET is, rather, at taking care of these Van Gelfs. It's really nice that we could have an ET kill something in this game outright, like the Tonfa at level 1 takes care of the really heavy-duty mecha soldiers with the ET. It's really good. Where did I put my goddamn water? Well, I guess we'll have to have a dry throat for the rest of this. Okay, so it looks like one Van Gelf is left, hopefully. There he is. Oh, my bad, there's more than that. way, sorry I was quiet there for a moment. I was just thinking about this situation that we have in front of us. I think I exhausted all 6 of the lives of the 1,000 gods to defeat this. And you might be wondering why I would do that. Well, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to save my data after beating this. I'm just going for the achievements, and I'm also just showing you ways to beat them. And hopefully you can use fewer items than I do. But many of these are optional, and I assume that the people who are doing these are going to select which ones they want to do based on the reward. Some of them are just plain easy. Some of them are just very tough. Like this one's pretty tough. I mean, I think I did it on my 3rd try, and I wasn't even I wasn't even struggling. I just did it a couple times. The first time I went into it, I just was completely unfamiliar, didn't know what to use, and then I just went back into it a couple times. I think the second time I just quit once I realized what the easiest way to deal with this whole situation. It's not that hard. I mean, it's pretty weapon specific to the enemies that we're dealing with, and I don't believe it lasted much longer than 20 minutes either. I love doing finishing off it and hitting nothing but thin air with that lunar staff. It's really great. So here's the Talisman of Rebirth that you had to use right there. Again, make sure you use the Spirit of the Devils prior to letting yourself get killed, so that you can have more of your key gauge filled up. There we go. Burn some more dragons. I honestly don't think Ninpo's all too effective on the dragons. I mean, it's good to take some of their HP off, but I'm just not sure. I don't know if the Wind Blades would work better, but I do know that I want to target a lot of people with the Inferno and burn these guys up, hopefully. So it looks like that might have been the last Vangelf. And, I guess there's more. But in the course of all this, doing all these ETs, we're going to have killed many of the dragons. So don't worry that once we kill the Vangelfs, you're going to have to spend a huge amount of time killing the dragons. You're just going to have to kill however many you had left, so it's not that bad. And once I guess I'll start talking about their moves, but I'll probably just let the moves occur and then discuss them once they do occur. So they're going to be hovering in the air quite a lot. And I just use the scythe. You see how I don't believe that these guys go into OT status either, like like an enemy who I can't recall right now, but I mean, all we're doing here is spamming scythe UTs. I think it takes about 3 scythe UTs. They have that rolling move, which is reminiscent of the dinosaurs from Ninja Gaiden Sigma, who had that rolling attack. If they roll and you get caught in it, it's not the end of the world. Trust me, it does not take very much damage. And also when you get bitten, that's also not the end of the world. So as intimidating and fearsome as these enemies look and act, see, that took away hardly anything right there. So like I said, as intimidating as this situation might seem, it's just we're dealing with we're dealing with 2 enemies who are essentially tank characters. They have a lot of HP. We just need to take care of them. So build up your charges and just kind of make sure you're looking around. I had one spawner of this enemy that just spawned like right on top of me. It's kind of unfair, but yeah, right there. That was kind of jacked up, I thought, but okay, so yeah, I had to use another one of those. I have one more to use. There are quite a lot of these guys left. I think there's probably 20 more left, but 2 at a time is very manageable. So basically, we're just doing scythe UTs, and then we're evading a couple of times to get an on-landing charge, and then we're doing another UT, and then we're repeating the process. But it's not completely. I mean, you do have to know when it's safe to do a UT. Like when he's doing his flame breath, it's completely safe because he's occupied with his animation. When they're flying up in the air, you definitely want to watch out in case they want to land on you, which would take away a lot of damage. Did I kill those two guys with that Inferno? Yeah, that was a really good kill right there. That was nice. But you see, I'm going to use a scythe, and then he was flying in the air, and that knocked him down. So don't think that you need to use like a projectile to knock them down. I think if you just went in their vicinity, they would just come down anyway. So it's not too bad either. So, and I probably did go item heavy here too much, and I could have done this better. But again, I'm not saving my progress. I'm just doing this for the achievements and to help people beat it, and to have myself beat it too. There we go. You notice their head falls off when they die. It's really cool, actually. It's actually really satisfying to get that head off after having to deal with them so much. Another move that I like to do is just jump and press Y. Yeah, grab right there. Just jump and press Y, and then he'll do a just spin the scythe around him in a circle, and it'll do really good damage. And you're pretty safe while you're in the air too. So one of the problems I was having here is. These guys are pretty fast too, and when they charge at you, it seems like they get to you faster than you might suspect. So I don't know if that's a problem that has to do with spatial distance in this game. Because ordinarily I can react perfectly fine because the game is properly programmed. But with this enemy, I'm just not sure if maybe it's because they have long necks and then their head goes out quite a ways. If they could bite you faster because of that, I'm just not really sure. But I know that a lot of my UTs would get interrupted because I wouldn't release a charge, and I thought I had enough time to get the charge off. Like in an instance like that just happened. Although I didn't fail right there. That was fine. So it knocked him out of the air. I mean, it's just very risky to go toe-to-toe with him and try to do melee attacks. That's really not what we're looking for. We're just looking to clear these guys without taking too much damage, and so we can succeed and get our reward. So overall, I would say this enemy is not too deadly. I mean, his attacks, they could have made this enemy's attacks take away a lot more damage, and I'm glad that they didn't go down that road. So what we have is an enemy that is very powerful, but is not as deadly as he possibly could be. There we go, another one fell right there. This should be over pretty soon. So there we go, safe to charge an attack right there. Another one spawned. You can block the roll, looks like. It might break your guard though, so you're going to need to move out quickly. Then this guy might be the last guy. Yeah, there we go. And I believe you get the pretty much what they usually do. They give you the reward, and then they also give you a fish with a chest with fish. I'm sorry, it's 2:30 in the morning. Okay, so we're gonna head back to the portal, leave, and get our achievement. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you beat the Test of Valor and get your achievement. Thank you.